Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinityWholeHealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness. And I get more and more clients with liver enzymes that are not happy, that are not doing well. And some clients will even tell me that they've already had an ultrasound and that they have fatty liver. And they'll be like, but I swear I don't drink. And I'll say, yeah, I know. And, the research out there shows that they don't actually really know why we develop fatty liver. They've got some mechanisms that they're looking into, and they've got some ideas out there. And I don't know if they're just trying to be coy, or they're trying to be secretive, or they're trying to say, gosh, we just don't know. But when we see an alcoholic form a fatty liver, and we start asking the questions, well, what's happening in their blood? Okay, well, their triglycerides are going way up. And who makes triglycerides, and how are triglycerides even made, and what the heck is a triglyceride? Well, if you do a lipid panel on a blood test, your doctor's going to immediately look at your cholesterol level. Oh, what's your cholesterol? Oh my goodness, you're 210. This is horrible. And by the way, just as a word, about 30, 40 years ago, normal cholesterol levels, it was 300. But when they finally had some cholesterol medication that they could give you, then they started lowering that number, and then all of a sudden you were sick. Hey, you've been running 240 on your cholesterol, which is just fine, but now we lowered it to 220. And now it's 200, and soon it'll be 175. And they'll just make people sick by a number, even though they don't feel sick, and they'll put them on a drug. Well, let me just tell you that cholesterol, I think we've beaten that up many times on my podcast, as it's not the evil thing that you think it is. And in fact, cholesterol is incredibly vital to the human body. But the number that was within that lipid panel that is incredibly important to heart function is triglycerides. Why are triglycerides so important to heart function? Well, triglycerides is how much sugar you're eating. So let's say you put me on pause right now and you go grab your latest blood work online and you take a look at it. You're like, I've got a lipid panel from 3 or 4 months ago. And you pull that lipid panel up, and that lipid panel, you look at cholesterol, and it might say 189 or something, and HDLs are 48 or 57, hopefully they're above 50, and your LDLs are 97, and they're kind of just a little bit borderline high, and wondering about that. But then you get the triglycerides, and let's say your triglycerides are 148. Oh, I'm in perfect range because 150 and below is good. Yeah, that's not good. That's a medical range. Once you're above, when you're outside or even close to any medical range, you're already not good. And I've talked about this on past podcasts that when you look at your blood work, there is an optimal range. There is also what we consider a healthy range, that you could be within that. So healthy is a little bit broader than an optimal. But the medical range, that is 2 standard deviations outside of that optimal range. And so why is that? And as I've explained in the past, that is because they don't have a drug that they can give you until you're far enough out of optimal, what they call normal. And once you're outside of normal, now they've got a drug for you. And I've used this example. The medical profession doesn't get miffed by your GFR score, which is your glomerular filtration rate, until it hits 59. And if you ask a medical doctor, what is 59 on a glomerular filtration rate, the GFR? Well, that's stage 3 kidney disease. Well, what am I at 60? You're at stage 2 kidney disease. I'm at stage 2 kidney disease at 60? Well, my number is 72. What's that? That's stage 2 kidney disease. Well, what's 88? Mine's 88. That's stage 2 kidney disease. And if your jaw's not dropping down and kind of saying, what? It should, because we don't even count a GFR normal until you're above 95. So I see many people well under 95. And I have to tell them, you're at stage 2 kidney disease approaching stage 3. Dialysis is at when you're at a 15 on the GFR, and that's stage 5. So what would you like to do? Would you like to do something with your kidneys now or later? Usually the answer is definitely now. So these are blood tests, and as we look at them, we see triglycerides all the way up to 150. And so what that means is that you are eating a significant amount of carbs and fat or sugar, and your liver is trying to convert them to triglycerides so that they can store them as fat for a later date that they can burn them. And so if you're just eating one meal that is a lot of carbs and sugar, not a big deal. But over and over, bread every meal, sugar cereal, no protein whatsoever. You're eating 2 sandwiches at lunch, you're eating a burger at dinner, or you're having, a bunch of garlic bread and half a steak and a salad at dinner, maybe with a baked potato. You got all kinds of carbs everywhere. Maybe you're eating pizza every night. I don't know. But your triglycerides are going to be probably pretty high. And where do we want them? We want them between 70 and 100. And really a goal should be below 90. That's typical. Why do I know that that's a healthy range? Here's how I know. When I pull somebody completely off of bread, pasta, crackers, chips, all grains, corn, and sugar, within 2 weeks, their triglycerides will drop to under 100 and typically under 90. And it's that fast because as soon as you stop doing it, your body stops converting it. And now that we've dropped all the sugar out of your blood, your mechanisms in your body have to turn the other direction. They have to pull a 180 and start pulling fat off your body and converting it to sugar and maintaining blood sugar at that 70 to 90 range, give or take, depending on what you're looking at. And your body will do it marvelously because that's how it's designed. We do not store sugar. We store fat and we burn it quite well. And if you are not burning it, then we've got other fish to fry. But ultimately, when you pull all grains aside, we're going to see those triglycerides drop beautifully. And what happens though, let's say that I don't. Let's say that I'm like, you know what? I think you're full of crap, Dr. Munson. I am going to double up on my carbs. I'm going to eat twice as much pizza and twice as much bread and twice as much cereal. And so you push your triglycerides up into the 300 range. Your blood is now filled with triglycerides. Your cells are trying to take that fat as fast as they can, but they are not winning. They are losing. Now, every time your liver's producing triglycerides, it's trying to push those triglycerides against that massive gradient of 300 in your blood. And it can't do it. And so guess where that triglyceride is going to sit as your liver makes it? It's going to sit in your liver. And it's going to start building up fat. Where? In your liver. And so now we have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's most common with high fructose corn syrup. So all the sports drinks that you're drinking, all the pop that you're drinking, all the sugar substitutes, even the creamers for coffee and all the sugar that they're putting in our coffee is probably high fructose corn syrup of some sort. Potato chips if they have it in it. Any kind of candy. Our bread has high fructose corn syrup, ketchup, barbecue sauce, you name it, it's got high fructose corn syrup in it practically everywhere. Baked beans, it's ridiculous. And so you are so inundated with high fructose corn syrup, and it is so hard on the liver that it is producing triglycerides at breakneck speed, and it is just filling up the liver with more and more fat. And so in essence, we have a liver here that's really, really struggling. And if you've listened to any of my podcasts, you hear me talk about liver all the time. And so it's something that we're constantly under the gun of dealing with it. And so now what do? You're like, but I really love donuts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with my crew or my office staff or on the way to Joe's school or whatever. Well, do you want to have a liver that's performing and have lots of energy and live a vibrant, healthy life without feeling like crap all the time? Continue, eating your donuts if you want to feel that way. But if you don't, you're going to say, you know what, I do know I need to start reducing carbs any way, shape, or form I can. I have a dream, and maybe you've heard one of my podcasts with my dream. I love donuts. I would love to walk into a bakery where they say, we grind our own grain, fresh daily. And we make our donuts from scratch. with real dextrose cane sugar. And we have sesame oil that we fry our donuts in. And we put a little bit of sugar on top that's actual sugar, real organic cane sugar. And I am going to eat that donut and enjoy the tar out of it. And I would do that every day. That would be awesome if I could go to a bakery like that. In fact, the donut would probably be so nutritious because it would be filled with all the wonderful things that were in the germ of that wheat that they ground up that I probably couldn't eat the whole donut. I'd probably have to keep it for the next day, but I'd wake up the next day and I would look at the donut and what would it look like? It'd be moldy because everything would grow on it because it has nutrients. And this is not how our society is right now. But I have a dream. I have a big dream. And I hope to one day actually see that kind of society where as people, we demand that our food be real and that we know the difference and that we demand that we don't get drugs. We demand that we actually look at things through a sound lens and we don't wait till something's broken to try and improve ourselves. Do you look around your house and say, wow, that roof was looking pretty bad, but I haven't seen a leak yet on my drywall on the ceiling. I think I'll wait a little longer. I mean, really? You're going to wait for a water stain to replace your roof? I highly doubt you would do that. And so, but we'll do that with our body. It's the craziest thing. And so I encourage you to start that process of educating your kids, your friends, just a little bit and say, you know what, it's up to us to demand this free market and drive the market where we want it and start demanding better products and healthier products and not go for the other ones. It's like now I'm watching people choose not to do Amazon. Awesome. You know, they're tired of big corporations running the show and wrecking the middle class because they can. And we'll keep buying products with them and investing in their corporation, even though they don't have our best interest at heart. And so people are really starting to wake up and consciously doing many, many different things. And I do see a light at the end of the tunnel with this kind of dream of mine. And so if you'd like to partner with that, man, share this podcast. We'd appreciate that. Have people start doing something different. Get the word out. Maybe you want to start a business that's totally green and learn so well about what you do so that we can depend on you as a resource for where we find out your particular field of interest. That's why I do what I do. I love learning about nutrition and how the body works and what's out there and what can we avoid and how can we stay healthy to the end of our days. I don't think we're getting more time. I just think we're getting better time while we're here. And so until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach Dr. Munson at 360-893-8586 or email him at chiroman@dr.com. That's chiroman@dr.com. Check out our current workshop schedule on Facebook at Infinity Whole Health.